As producers look at feeding their cattle this fall and winter, UNL Extension educator Berger says Nebraska's weather patterns support windrow grazing, especially in central and western Nebraska. The method can cut down on cost while maintaining the forage's quality. Earlier this week, we talked with Aaron about windrow grazing, but first we discussed weaning calves from cows. Farmers and ranchers might be starting the process, and Aaron says the first goal in taking calves off should be to minimize stress.
Yeah, when you think about that calf being weaned, we're really having quite a few traumatic events happen in that calf's life there at weaning. We're removing that calf from the cow where that was its, sole focus there from birth till that time, and that was its part of the herd there. And so we're not only breaking the bond there with that calf, and also asking it to start eating new feeds. And so anything we can do to reduce that stress is really a beneficial thing. So one of the things I think as we think about weaning, anything we can do to maybe use a two-step process there to wean that calf, either fence line weaning where that calf still has some interaction with the cow over a period of time but isn't able to nurse, or there's some tools available like nose weaners that keep the calf from nursing but allow it still to have social contact with the cow. And there's some good data and research that has shown kind of a two-step process can really be effective in helping reduce stress at weaning. Some other things we can do is prepare that calf for weaning by having a good herd health plan in place, by having some pre-weaning vaccinations and a good vaccination protocol set out ahead of time and have that in place so that that calf is ready to encounter the challenges that are going to come with the weaning process. Also introducing the calf to some feed prior to weaning that you're going to be feeding it after that weaning occurs allows it to get used to what that feed will be and really provides that calf with an opportunity to start getting used to the changes that are coming.
How effective can fence line weaning be, Aaron?
Fence line weaning can really be a very effective process. Really what's happening there is we're going to either take the calves and put them right across the fence from the cows. It's oftentimes even a good idea to maybe have those calves actually stay in the same pasture across the fence from where their cows were, so they're used to where the water source is and the feed is. A fence line weaning can work very well using an electric fence. If the cattle have been acclimated to that prior to weaning, it can be a very effective tool as long as we're getting a good ground on that fence when the calves are exposed to it so they can see each other, smell each other, but they're not crossing that barrier and not nursing.
Overall, the goal, Aaron, is to just reduce the stress and therefore any possible sickness that could overcome it.
That's right. Anything that's stressful to the calf is going to be challenging. When that calf is stressed, it's going to be bawling. Oftentimes in the fall of the year, we have dusty conditions, so anything we can do to reduce that dust that would be irritating to the lungs of the calf is important as well. And so reducing stress will help to keep that calf healthy, get them started on feed quickly, and make the adjustment through that weaning process.
As we go further into fall, one technique that you think producers might want to take advantage of is windrow grazing. Why might that be something that you would want to try?
Windrow grazing, I think, really has a fit as a tool to reduce harvested feed cost. And really what we do when we windrow graze is in this early fall of the year, we're going to go out, windrow that crop just like we were if we were going to put it up as hay, but we leave those windrows in the field. This really works effectively, especially with annual forages, things like foxtail millet, sudan grass, sorghum sudan, pearl millet. It can also work with perennial forages, like if you have a last cutting of alfalfa, if we would have an extended fall. Once that alfalfa gets to mid to late October, it's hardened off enough that it can go ahead and be cut. And sometimes we can anticipate a really hard freeze that's coming that's going to stop all growth and begin to wilt that alfalfa. Going out and windrowing that right prior to that event allows us to preserve the quality of that, to hold it in the windrow. And then here in Nebraska, we really have some seasonality of precip. 80% of our precip comes in the months of really March through September. So windrowing that crop in late September, early October really allows us to preserve quality through the October, November into late February, early March timeframe with minimal deterioration.
Does it matter, Aaron, east versus west Nebraska as far as if you would lose those nutrients in the grasses?
Yeah, if you think about precip from west to east, obviously the further east we go, the higher precip we get. So obviously I think western Nebraska lends itself more to windrow grazing than maybe places east of the 100th meridian. But I also think if you're planning to utilize windrow grazing, it's very possible to utilize it in eastern Nebraska. You just may need to think about strategically using that forage earlier, maybe in that November, December timeframe, rather than letting it just lay there until we get into that February, March timeframe.